has the same thing. It's a big frame drum like this, about this thick, and on one side there's a string and a little bead. And again, the Africans were trying to imitate the military snares by doing that. They couldn't, they didn't have metal that they could fancy so they did what they could get. They got strings and a bunch of beads. It's the same effect. You get a bunch of beads, or you get a bunch like a keychain to put on a cymbal, and it buzzes. So, same thing when you hear some of the toques that they play, and they go with the hands. They go. They're imitating the snare drum. Yeah, because remember, none of those people had formal snare drum lessons. If they do, they just kind of hold their sticks. They didn't study with anybody that showed them how to play rudiments or any of that kind of stuff. They just imitated the colors what they could see. Okay, and I need to know. So palo is from something specific. Yeah, so either Yoruba, Bantu, Dahomey, Karabali. Same with Nago. Tell me a little bit about that. I need to know about comparsa. Yeah, conga de comparsa. So remember, in Cuba, there's two best-known congas. One from Havana, one from Santiago. One's called conga habanera, the other one's conga santiaguera. Or you can say conga occidental from the western part, conga oriental from the eastern part. Now there's also a conga. Every city has a conga. Guantanamo's more like Santiago. When you get to the middle of the country, like Camagüey, their carnival's a little bit different. But we don't need to get into that. Just suffice to say, and for you guys to know that there are two basic styles. Yeah? And the music couldn't be more different. Yeah, remember in Havana they feature brass instruments. The conga can be a little bit slower. And they use, trombone, trumpets, and saxophones to play the melody. And the melody could be anything from, I've heard them play yeah, I've heard them play from Star Wars. I've heard them play Cuéntame cómo se va, yo por aquí muy bien, tú por allá que vola, cuéntame. It's that charanga habanera that put down on Manuelito Simone or Manuelito Medico that went to America and not doing anything here, might be waiting tables, I don't know, but he's a big star in Cuba, and there's still that political thing going on. But I've heard them do all kinds of songs, though, cartoon songs, popular songs, old songs, and but in Oriente, they also use brass, but specifically they use what's called the trompeta china.
Or la corneta.
Or la corneta china. It's not a trumpet, and it's not Chinese, but it's called the Chinese trumpet. It's actually from the Middle East originally, although it's just primarily it's primarily from China, but I think originally just from the Middle East. And it's not a trumpet. There's no mouthpiece. It's a double reed. It's two reeds.
Sona.
That's so weird.
The sona. Yeah, they got it when the Chinese came in to help build the railroad and stayed.
The Chinese brought it there, but it wasn't the Chinese who invented it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's used, and they play it very differently than they would. I mean, they play it a lo cubano. They play it how they play, and they learned how they learn. It's a diatonic instrument, so you can't really play a lot of. You can't play da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da. Anything with accidentals. I mean, you just can't. Doesn't have the relationship. They can bend notes. I've heard them play manicero. Da, ba, da, 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 da. They had to kind of straighten out the melody. They couldn't. Certain things they can't play, or they can kind of lip some things, but it's nothing like how I've heard Paul play it with a Chinese ensemble. It's very different.
Paul plays it with a Chinese ensemble?
Yeah, he plays it really well.
It's getting really good.
I heard him play with the Chinese ensemble a couple years ago. It's interesting because they had this band and they were percussionists and
He says he regrets playing the piano. He should have been born a sonal player. It's creepy.
That is
Really?
Apologies.
Wow.
You can't tell when he's kidding.
Yeah, he could. It's hard to tell because Paul is his
Deadpan.
demeanors. You can't tell if
Deadpan.
he's pulling your leg or pulling your leg. Okay, that's it. Any questions?
So no, say cha-cha-cha, pilon, Mozambican.
No, we're not going to go over the popular stuff. Mainly just the folklore. I mean, I cover the popular stuff just because people need to know the foundation if they're going to play in a salsa group. You know, bongo,
no
conga,
changui, no
timbal.
no songo, changui.
No, I mean, it's just there's not enough time.
So you like short answers, short and
I
sweet
think,
answers.
I think concise is good. You know, a paragraph, and you know, you should be able to fit everything. In fact, most of these, let me tell you right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half these answers could be one-word answers.
Uh-oh.
So you could read you could do the same. You could do this on the same paper. Use the back side. Trying to save paper. Right on the wall. No, I'm just kidding. If you need more paper, I'll bring paper. But short, concise answers. For example,